Spider-Boy took the top 10 with multiple issues flooding the list. Star Wars titles also made noise too, thanks to fresh character debuts. Marvel Spec played a role with Fantastic Four keys taking center stage, and Spider-Man 2 was the hottest video game, and its prequel got a boost from gaming hype. Back in May of 2023, the top 10 list was filled with books riding high on hype, speculation, and first appearances. Leading the pack was the breakout buzz around Spider-Boy, with 4 separate issues making the list, all showing how much heat this new character had at the time. Star Wars fans had their momentum high too, with 2 titles both gaining traction due to fresh character debuts, while Fantastic Four keys experienced a boost following Adam Warlock's big screen debut and the potential of a Terrax appearance in the MCU. And rounding things out were 2 video game tie-ins, RuneScape and Spider-Man 2 prequel. These titles got a bump thanks to their popularity of their franchises. But the real question is, did that momentum last? Now we're in 2025 and we're taking a look back to see how these once hot books are doing today. What's up, everyone? It's me, Izzy, with Comics with IzzyVerseNYC, and this is your weekly Covrprice Top 10 Comics Rewind. We're looking at the top 10 list from May 2023. That's 2 years ago. This list had a lot of heat when it dropped, with collectors chasing first appearances, video game tie-ins, and variant covers. But now that we've had some time to let the dust settle, were there solid pickups, or did they end up cooling off fast? Let's break it down and see which books still matter and which ones hit the dollar bin. And remember to like this video and subscribe to Covrprice's channel. Also, turn on notifications to stay updated on the latest comic book news. Let's kick this list off with a personal favorite. Number 10, Fantastic Four 67, Marvel Comics, 1967. Adam Warlock's debut in the 3rd Guardians of the Galaxy film, though anticipated, boosted collectors' interest in his first appearance. Initially, very good raw copies cost around $100, and a CGC 9.2 sold for $1,125. However, 2 years later, in 2025, prices have declined significantly. The same very good raw copy now sells for $50, and the CGC 9.2 can be bought for under $900. This price decrease makes this book a poor investment 2 years later and a bust. Adam Warlock is my favorite. I find him to be complex and just downright cool. As you can see right there, I own a signed Stan Lee copy of his first appearance in FF67. While the film was otherwise excellent, his portrayal in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was a misstep. It felt more akin to him than Adam Warlock, so I hope his character is better developed in future MCU projects. Number 9, Spider-Man number 8, Humberto Ramos cover, Marvel Comics, 2023. Spider-Boy's 2023 debut in issue 7 made him a sensation, with this follow-up issue also highly sought after. Near-mint raw copies initially sold for $14, and the CGC 9.8 graded copies reached $70. However, by 2025, prices for Spider-Boy books have decreased. Despite his own series and continued popularity, demand for his early appearances have fallen. Currently, a raw copy costs around $10, and a CGC 9.8 recently sold for just $23. This price drop marks this book as a bust 2 years later. Following his debut, Spider-Boy's mystery captivated readers. While initial intrigue was high and current opinions may vary, the character's popularity has likely waned as anticipated. Keep in mind, he is a character that we will see until we don't see him again. Number 8, Star Wars High Republic Adventures, Quest of the Jedi, number 1, Tom Fowler cover, Dark Horse Comics, 2023. Usually, there's initial excitement surrounding any character's debut in the Star Wars universe, making them highly sought after by collectors. A comic book from 2023 featuring 4 appearances exemplifies this, with raw near-mint copies selling for $22 and graded 9.8 copies fetching $150. However, by 2025, collectors' interest has decreased, causing the value to plummet. The same near-mint raw copies now sell for approximately $8, and a recent CGC 9.8 graded copy sold for a mere $26, highlighting the significant decrease in demand. Despite the potential for a future resurgence in value, this comic book represents poor investment compared to its 2023 prices, and we label it a bust. Like most Star Wars debuts, prices go up as initially launched, but they fizzled out after some time. All these debuts don't hold much value, and as you can see with this book, it just goes back to the dollar bins. Number 7, Fantastic Four 211, Marvel Comics, 1979. In 2023, swirling rumors about Terrax appearing in the Fantastic Four film drove demand for his first appearance in comic books. Raw near-mint copies reached $24, and a CGC 9.6 sold for $230. Today, with more information available about the FF film and no indication of Terrax involvement, demand has decreased for graded copies, which now sell for $121 for a CGC 9.6. Raw copies has slightly increased, however, to $26. Without any news regarding Terrax in the films, this book is likely to be considered a bust for graded copies, however, a push for raw copies. While Terrax is confirmed not to be in the upcoming Fantastic Four film, his potential inclusion in a cameo or future installment remains unknown. He remains a compelling character and a significant figure within the Fantastic Four universe, alongside Galactus and his heralds. Despite the current low demand, future developments regarding Terrax could reignite interest. Number 6, Runescape Untold Tales of the God Wars. Free Comic Book Day 2023, Issue 0, Titan Comics 2023. RuneScape is a popular online game that has been around for over 29 years. In 2023, the RuneScape world finally made its debut in comic book form. Fans were excited enough that prices reached $8 for raw near-mint copies and a sole sale of a 9.8 graded copy in August for $180. In 2025, prices have climbed above the 2023 prices for raw copies, $15 versus $80, but have dropped for graded values to $108. These current prices makes this book a push for raw, but a bust for graded. RuneScape is a popular video game IP, but without news of a movie, TV series, new games, or updates, its chances of increased aftermarket interest are slim. However, considering the significant success of Minecraft and The Last of Us, there might be a renewed interest in other popular video game IPs, potentially leading to an uptick for RuneScape. Number 5, Spider-Man number 7, Herberto Ramos, The Top Secret Spoiler Cover, Marvel Comics 2023. The second Spider-Boy book to appear on our list is the first appearance, which is the spoiler variant. These issues were in demand as raw near-mint copies reached $31 and graded 9.8 copies were selling over $150. Today's prices have dropped as demand for the character has settled. Raw copies are in the $10 range and graded 9.8 copies are around $60. While this book easily has the possibility of going up again, these current prices makes this book a bust 2 years later. Spider-Boy was a sensation in May 2023, particularly this special secret spoiler cover that generated significant buzz in the aftermarket. However, that initial excitement has faded and Spider-Boy's popularity has decreased. Number 4, Spider-Man number 8, Rob Liefeld Omager cover, Marvel Comics 2023. Spider-Boy again pops up on our list, this being the 3rd book so far. This issue is a second appearance of Spider-Boy while also having a Secret Wars number 8 homage cover by Rob Liefeld. At the time, this book was selling for $20 for raw near-mint copies, and we tracked the sale of a graded CGC 9.8 for $90. Fast forward to 2025 and the prices have come down a bit for both raw and graded copies of this book. Raw near-mint copies are $10, with a graded 9.8 copies going for only $35. These current prices easily makes this book a bust 2 years later. Spider-Boy's immense popularity even drew the attention of Rob Liefeld. However, instead of a Spider-Boy illustration, the cover featured Deadpool with his jazz hands design unrelated to Spider-Boy or the comic's content. It's simply a special homage variant of Secret Wars issue number 8. Number 3, Spider-Man number 8, Mark Bagley, regular cover, Marvel Comics 2023. This week's 4th Spider-Boy book is the standard cover A by Mark Bagley. Anything Spider-Boy was on fire in 2023 as prices were holding at $11 for raw near-mint copies with a graded CGC 9.8 copies reaching $80. As I mentioned with the previous 3 Spider-Boy books, demand for Spider-Boy has fallen from the highs in 2023. Prices today are $7 for raw copies and $32 for graded 9.8 copies. These current prices make this book a bust. Here we are, still discussing Spider-Boy. Now that the initial excitement surrounding this new character has subsided, what more is there to talk about? Even Spider-Boy's creator, Dan Slott, has concluded his involvement with the character after the final issue in Spider-Boy 20, coming out this June. Perhaps much like how the web of life caused Spider-Man to forget Spider-Boy, we too will eventually forget about him. Number 2, Star Wars 34, Steven Segovia, regular, Marvel Comics 2023. This week's 2nd Star Wars title is another book featuring a first appearance. This book features the first appearance of Dr. Qualta, a character that was mentioned in Rogue One novel. This book shot out of the gate hot as raw near-mint copies were selling for over $20, as well as having a graded 9.8 copy sell for $110. 2 years after its release, prices and demand dropped. Raw near-mint prices are $7, and we tracked the recent CGC 9.8 sale for $21. This drop in raw and graded prices make this book easily a bust. It's quite fitting that we're examining a comic with connections to Rogue One now that Andor series has concluded. I'd be interested to know your thoughts on Andor in the comments below. Personally, I found it to be some of the best Star Wars content in a long time. But returning to what this book is about, is the first appearance of Dr. Qualta. This character appears to be a minor one with limited potential at the moment. And frankly, I'm uncertain if there will even be a mention of him again in the future. Number 1, Spider-Man 2, number 1, Gamerverse prequel, promo 2023, Marvel Comics 2023. Our final Spider-related title on our list this week is a book related to the widely popular Spider-Man game universe. This book was a prequel to the new game, and fans were scrambling to scoop up a copy. Raw prices were in the $20 range, and graded 9.8 copies were selling for $75. 2 years later, we see the prices have come down for both raw and graded copies. Prices on the raw copies are currently $6, with a graded 9.8 recently selling for $30. This drop in prices makes this former number 1 book a bust 2 years in. The Spider-Man video game franchise was extremely popular and is renowned for delivering some of the best superhero action in gameplay. However, with the passage of time, this marketing comic tie-in has largely lost its relevance, although it serves as an enjoyable prequel to the game and will be a fine addition to any Spider-Man video game add-on. It lacks the significance of a key issue and is unlikely to gain further importance in the future. And there you have it, 10 books that had the spotlight in May 2023, but not all of them kept the momentum. Whether it was hype from the MCU, new character debuts, or tie-in to popular games, time has shown us which ones were short-term spikes and which ones had staying powers. And let's be honest, this batch didn't bring us any real boom books. In fact, 9 of the 10 titles saw dropped in value. But that doesn't mean it's all bad news. Sometimes a dip in price is just the window some collectors are waiting for. If you've had your eye on a key first appearance, like one of those Spider-Boy issues, this might actually be the perfect time to scoop it up on the low. The market moves in cycles, and while not every book in this winning long-term history has shown that some of these can bounce back, especially with the right push from movies, shows, or creator buzz. I'm thinking of Fantastic Four 67, of course. Let me know what you think in the comments. Did you buy any of these books back in 2023? Are you holding? Are you flipping? Or finally jumping in? Either way, keep your eyes open. Stay sharp with your collecting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to Covrprice's YouTube channel for more great weekly content, including the top 10 comics, the Shaker Report, and comics covered with our co-founders, Matt and John. And don't forget to visit Covrprice.com to check out their current top 10 and explore all the latest movers and shakers in the comic market. And help us bring smiles to kids who need them most. Comic Books for Kids brings joy and hope to hospitalized children by providing them with comic books. As a non-for-profit, CB4K partners with hundreds of hospitals to send weekly comic boxes, offering smiles and inspiration to kids facing difficult times. Covrprice proudly supports this cause, recognizing the power of these stories. Donate today to help bring moments of hope and happiness to children in hospitals. Thanks for watching. For more comic discussions from a collector, reader, and an artist perspective, join me at Comics with IzzyVerseNYC, where we explore trending books, comic culture, and convention adventures. You could also follow me on most social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. And until next week, Excelsior.